Over the last 11 months, we've seen a lot of change. We won't see the arena packed with fans or hear the loud roars of the student sections, but one thing that won't change is the rivalry between Christian Brothers and MUS. Though it might be different, the stakes in the matchup is compelling as any other year. The Brothers look to stay undefeated on the season midway through region play, and the Owls look to upset a nationally ranked team for the first time in school history. Hello and welcome to the MUS Athletics pregame show. I'm your host, William Patterson, and I'm joined virtually by my co-host, Will Klepper. And Will, how you hanging in there?
Thanks, William. I'm doing all right.
Well, good to hear. Will, the number 23 ranked team in high school basketball will face the Owls later tonight on this very court behind me. What are some of your thoughts about tonight and this Christian Brothers team?
Well, to start, I think both these teams are greatly improved from previous years. Christian Brothers is a very talented team, being ranked 23rd nationally. However, the Owls are not without their strengths, with a great shooting game and fantastic ability to share the ball. The Owls have great chemistry and seem to always know where their teammates are. Christian Brothers, on the other hand, is a very physical and athletic team. They're hard to guard man-to-man and are threats scoring-wise from anywhere on the court. On the defensive side, the Wave is led by Eli Fetterman and Reese McMullen, who are both tenacious defenders that refuse to let any points come easy. However, the Owls' strong shooting and team play will prove challenging for the Wave defense tonight, and I expect to see big games from our seniors as well as freshman big Arshawn King, who can create a huge impact defensively to stop this athletic Christian Brothers team.
Well, as you mentioned, a very talented Christian Brothers team will be coming to MUS to play behind me. But when we look at these teams a little bit closer, you know what time it is. It's time for the Pat of Facts, presented by Big Bill's Barbecue, home of the Bang Bang Chicken. And we begin the Pat of Facts with covering Christian Brothers. Coming into the night, the Brothers are nationally ranked and undefeated at 16-0, led by their core four, if you will, of Eli Fetterman, Reese McMullen, Harrison Kelly, and Chandler Jackson. This team scores a lot, averaging 61 points per game, scoring 70 or more in 10 of their 16 games this season. And defensively, they're solid as well, with the emergence of Hunter Pratt, who gives the Brothers some much-needed size. But this defense is, without a doubt, led by one of their leaders of this team, Eli Fetterman, who's as scrappy as they come on the defensive side of the ball. The Brothers, in 2 region games so far, have only allowed a combined 43 points in those games. And now we move on to MUS. The Owls haven't played but one game since January 2nd, and that was on Tuesday against SBA, where the Owls defeated the Eagles 61-39. The game started a little rusty in the first quarter. The Owls only led 9-6, but going into that second quarter, Coach Wilson's speech had to have worked, as the Owls put up 25 points in the quarter and had a manageable lead at the half. They entered the game with good shooting and good defense, which is something they've played all year, but was a little concerning to see in the first quarter without having played in a relatively 3 weeks. This year, the Owls have a lot of size with the addition and importance of Arshawn King, the center for the Owls, who allows a lot of physicality in the paint, a great rebounder, and a shot blocker as well. Over the past couple of seasons, the Owls have lacked a dominant post presence, and Arshawn King gives the Owls that presence this season. And of course, everyone knows about the three-point shooting of the Owls, led by Jack Jabor, Henry Nicky, and Eamon McGowan, who once led the city in three-point shooting percentage. Defensively, the Owls have to have a great game. Christian Brothers has scored over 70 in 10 of their games this season, and they like to control the pace of the game. The keys to the game, though, MUS has to consistently score the ball, which I just mentioned. MUS has got to have good production from their shooters, Murray, McGowan, Nicky, Jabor, Curtis Givens has to have a good game. Really, all these guys have got to play at their highest level. Biggest game of the season, and Christian Brothers is very hungry to continue their undefeated season, and a win over the rival would make it even sweeter. Stop Chandler Jackson. It feels like we've been saying this for the past 3 years, and nothing's changed. This guy's still legit. Talking about the junior from Christian Brothers who holds offers from Vanderbilt and Alabama. Incredible player. But this year, I feel like MUS has the ability to stop him with Arshawn King, a physical guy, but also is very mobile at his size, can get a good shot contest on Chandler Jackson, and that needs to be an important point of emphasis on the defensive side of the ball for the Owls. And finally, for both teams, it's got to be play your play style. Christian Brothers is going to want to score a lot and create turnovers on the defensive side of the ball and get out in the break. MUS has got to shoot the ball well. Three-point shooting's been a strong suit all year. They need that again tonight if they want to be in this game, be able to stay in it. And defensively, MUS has been relatively good all year, and it's got to continue tonight. But a very good offense coming into town tonight, and they've got to be able to stop them. I think it's a compelling matchup either way, and I think it's going to turn out to be a good one. Anytime you have a nationally ranked team coming in, you know, the emotions can be flying in a rivalry game, homecoming night. Everything's adding up for a big game, and I'm really excited about it. This has been the Patafacts presented by Big Bill's Barbecue, home of the Bang Bang Chicken. And when we come back, Will Klepper will talk to Jack Jabor about this season and tonight's big game.
Welcome back to the MUS Athletics pregame show. I'm Will Klepper, now joined by MUS wing Jack Jabor. Jack, thanks for your time today.
Good to see you, Klepper. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Jack, being a senior on this team, how's it feel being a leader during such a weird season where you really weren't sure whether you get to play a single game or not, much less an entire season?
Oh, man, it's just definitely a blessing to be out there, able to compete. It's good because there's 7 seniors, and we've been playing ball since we were little, so this is kind of our last ride. And it kind of sucks that we don't have fans, but we're going out there every night trying to win a state championship, our kind of core group, and also to impact the younger guys. If I'm old and I'm seeing Arshawn and Curtis getting a scholarship, maybe go to the NBA, I can say I had a small part in that. So it's really cool to be a senior with such talented young guys.
For sure. Obviously, this is a huge game for you and the guys. So heading into this matchup, what is the one thing y'all have been focused on in practice that you feel must be improved on?
Really individual defense, man, because they have some players, obviously. They got the forward and then the guards, man. They're all quick. They can all shoot and drive. So it's probably the most talented team we played all year. We really have to win our individual matchups, so we're not stressing the back line of our defense as much. It's going to take everybody. It's going to take a lot of focus because these guys are really good. But if we continue to work on that, I think we'll play a really good defensive game. And that's where it starts.
Most definitely, this Christian Brothers team is stronger than they've been in many years. What do you think the Owls need to do to stop this talented team?
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool when you look at Max Preps and you see IMG, and then not far down is Christian Brothers. But, you know, they're not invincible. We can go in there and play our game, and I'm confident that we can put up a fight. We need to really be good on the defensive end and then share the ball. We've been kind of clicking on offense all year despite being out for 3 weeks. So if we just keep playing MUS basketball, getting everybody involved, I think we can go in there and put up a fight and win the game.
For sure. This is a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you for your time. Best of luck to you and the guys tonight.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
When we come back, William Patterson will chat with head basketball coach David Wilson about the upcoming game and the season moving forward.
Welcome back to the MUS Athletics pregame show. I'm William Patterson, and I'm now joined by head coach of the MUS Owls, Coach David Wilson. And Coach, happy you could join us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, to begin with, you're now halfway into your second season as head coach of this team. Tell me what has been the biggest difference from year one and year two from a coaching perspective.
I think the biggest difference is that we have a group of guys who have gone through a full year, and so just the level of experience that they have has really changed kind of the pace that we're able to go through things this year. We started practice this year doing things that we weren't doing until midway through the season last year. And so that's been a lot of fun. It's just to have a group that went through a lot of challenges last year. They learned a lot of great things from it, and they've really carried that over into this year.
Sure. And you speak of a lot of challenges from this year, especially pretty recently. This year's basketball season has been a lot different. But how do you think your guys have embraced these changes and kept focus on their goal despite all the irregularities this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been very challenging, as it has for everybody. We have a saying in our program that we really like: if it's easy, we don't want it.
Sure.
And so there's been a lot of challenges, but our guys have embraced those challenges well, really starting last spring when we were all kind of stuck in our homes during the stay-at-home order, and we had a lot of guys that just worked hard to develop their bodies and to get out and work on their ball handling and their shooting, even though they couldn't come together as a team. That carried into the summer. We were able to come in here and do some individual work in the gym, but it wasn't anything like what we're used to.
Sure.
And then I thought once we were able to get back on campus this fall, they just did an outstanding job with everything that has been asked of them. So we're just really learning to control what we can control. There's certain things that are just circumstantial that we can't control, and we have to just do our best to react to that, and I think the guys have done a good job with that.
Sure. And Coach, finally, obviously a very big game tonight against a ranked and undefeated Christian Brothers team. What do you tell your guys before going out there tonight?
It's a great opportunity. It's always fun when you play Christian Brothers. It's such a special rivalry for our school, and so it doesn't matter what the circumstances are in terms of how good the teams are, anything of that nature. It's always going to be a big game and exciting. But I think this year is a particularly exciting year because they're obviously off to a really strong start. They're undefeated, and they've got a national ranking, but we're off to a really good start as well, and we have a great team. And I expect it to be a great battle. The biggest thing for us is to just be who we are, to be the best version of MUS that we can possibly be. And we've talked about two big keys every time we step on the floor. We want to be a team that competes, and we want to be a team that plays for each other. And it doesn't matter who we're playing, where, when. Those are the things that we want to be confident we did well at the end of the game. So that's going to be our focus.
Competing and playing for each other, gotta love it. Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck to you guys tonight.
Thanks, William.
And when we come back, it's time for the Friday Selections presented by Taco Bell on Ridgeway. Welcome back to the MUS Athletics pregame show, and I'm now excited to say it's time for the Friday Selections presented by Taco Bell on Ridgeway. And we begin tonight with Ensworth and Pope John Paul as the Knights head to Ensworth to take on the Tigers. Will, who you got in this one?
I'm going to take Ensworth over Pope John Paul. Ensworth is led by a really, really fun to watch guy, Sky Clark. I think it'll be an interesting game.
And I'm going to take Ensworth in this one. Ensworth has the highly touted Sky Clark, who's been putting up huge numbers every game this season. A lot of offense for the Ensworth team. Defense has struggled a little bit, but they've also played some pretty good teams. But I'll stick with Sky Clark and Ensworth to defeat Pope John Paul. Next, Briarcrest will head to SBA as the Eagles take on the Saints, and they desperately need a win tonight to try to keep their playoff hopes alive. Will, who you got in this one?
I'm going to have to take Briarcrest. Briarcrest has two great freshmen on their team, Cooper Haynes and Jay Nash, and I'm just going to take them. I don't think SBA is the strongest team.
Obviously, it's been a very different year for Briarcrest following the departure of Kennedy Chandler, Amari Thomas, and all of their players from last season that made that team so fun to watch. But got to watch out for in the future is Cooper Haynes, a freshman from Briarcrest who's continued to follow in Kennedy's footsteps and put up big numbers. I'm taking Briarcrest in this one pretty handily. I just don't think SBA's there offensively or defensively at the moment. And finally, the big game that will take place behind me tonight, it's the number 23 ranked Christian Brothers versus MUS. You can watch tonight's game live on NFHS Network at 7:30 or follow for live updates on OwlBuzz on Twitter throughout the game. And I'll begin with the picks for this one. As I mentioned earlier in the Patafacts, obviously going to be a very enticing game. A nationally ranked team coming into MUS on homecoming night. Can't get much better than that. As I mentioned earlier, the keys to the game are going to be stopping Chandler Jackson from having a big night. You got to have that. We've been saying it for 3 years. It's going to have to happen again tonight if MUS wants to win this game. For Christian Brothers, they just got to control the pace. They've been doing it all year. High intensity on offense, scoring a lot of points, scored over 70 in 10 of their 16 games, and defensively they're pretty sound as well. So they've just got to play their game to be able to win this game. They can't get caught up in their head. MUS has to shoot the ball particularly well, especially from the three-point line from guys like Henry, Gavin, and Gavin can shoot a little bit too, but Henry, Jabor, and Eamon McGowan. So in this game, despite all the hype around Christian Brothers, I'm going to have to take MUS in a game like tonight. I'm going with MUS in this one.
I see MUS winning. I think being without a crowd will help this younger MUS team not having to adjust to the usual intense atmosphere of this rivalry game, and I give them a leg up. And I see really good performances from young guys like Arshawn King and Curtis Givens, and I think we can really pull off the upset there.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching the MUS Athletics pregame show. I'm William Pattison, and for my co-host, Will Klepper, thank you for watching.